Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilots YouTube channel, directly supporting the Grumman Pilots Association. And this morning we're going to show painting a black stripe on your windshield. Now, this is a scrapped windshield that we just removed out of a customer's airplane, so we don't have to be real careful with it, but it makes for good demonstration purposes. You can paint this on the airplane or not on the airplane. A couple things that call to your attention that you want to do before you start is, one thing is you want to come along and you want to make a nice even bead with the first piece of blue tape. Now we're using blue 3M painter's tape. I know that makes Stan Berger happy, retired 3M engineer. And we space ours about a 1/4 inch out from the black bow that you can see through the plexiglass. We go all the way around the first piece. Then we come back with some scrap paper. This is nothing more than brown shipping paper. Newspaper works good, towels work good, whatever you have available. We get a lot of this from the parts we order from Fletcher, so we roll it up and save it, and then we use it for projects like this. Then you come back and you tack it with a few pieces in place, and then you come make another bead all the way around, sealing so that no paint can wick under. And then, speaking of paint wicking under, you take an old piece of plexiglass or a credit card or anything that's plexiglass, and you come back and you make a very good sharp push on the bead on the top side. And you do that simply because you don't want any paint wicking under any place in the tape. You do that way you get a nice crisp line. Next step is we're going to take some solvent and we're going to come back and we're going to use some alcohol and we're going to clean to make sure there's no oil from our fingers or anything on the plexiglass. And then finally we're going to shoot it with some flat black. 1 or 2 coats. We'll do a light coat. We'll wait 5 minutes, come back with a second coat. Then we can take all the tape and all off and examine our line. And then finally we'll let the paint dry overnight, and then we'll come back and we'll burnish it with a cloth. A red shop rag works really good. And that just puts a little bit of luster on the flat black. This is available in the aviation aisle of Home Depot. So I'm going to go ahead and take the solvent off. We're going to come back and paint it in just a second, so stand by for a bit more fun. Okay, we've used solvent, and as you can see there was some dirt and debris on there, a little bit on the double bow seal, but we did it twice, removed enough, and now we're going to go ahead and we use alcohol for one reason why. It doesn't harm any paint, doesn't hurt the plexiglass, and it dries fairly quickly, so there's no residue left. And now we just simply take our can of paint, shake it to get it nice and mixed up. We have to shake it in a few minutes before this, get a nice line, and then we just come back now and just shoot a nice bead on the airplane. Okay, that's our first coat. We're going to wait 5 minutes, and then we'll come back with a second light coat, and then we'll let that cure. Stand by for. Okay, we've shot the second coat on. Our usual procedure when we do this is we shoot the first coat from one direction, and then we come back and we shoot the second coat from the other direction. That way we fill in all the little details on the large area washers and the screws that are in the windshield. And at an airport you'll have airplanes taxiing by. So anyway, that's how we do it. Now we're just going to go ahead and remove everything, and we'll be back in a minute to show you the final product. So here's the final product. We have a nice clean line. We had no run under. The paint's still tacky. It's just starting to dry a little bit, hitting its matte finish. But what this does is 2 things. One, it dresses up the airplane fairly nicely, and the paint we're using is UV protectant. Not much is going to come through black paint, and it protects the bonding to the bow. Now, again, this was just for demonstration purposes because this is an old windshield and we're going to be harvesting the bow and all the pieces off of it. This is a scrap windshield, but we thought it made a good demonstration piece. This one's out of a Traveler, and we're going to go ahead and save this because, again, some of the things that we do with old windshields is we make bits and pieces out of them. We make scrapers for dealing with fuel tanks and other scraping jobs that we have on the aircraft. And you just take a piece of plexiglass, put a bevel on it. This way when you're scraping, you'll scrape off any sealant, but the plexiglass is soft enough it won't hurt the aluminum. So we hope you found this informative, and we'd like to thank you for watching. Have a good day flying your Grumman.